So lero nate tukukuonera omugusi abere ndakuona for some time, so nakingo kuonera gusi lero nga inataka kukuonera omugusi of a few things, but of course timbu ati nguruchio ko kolengererio on your behalf. I simply want to give my opinion over things chiagusi as far as county chetu chile concerned. I talk about what I imagine about the future of Omogusi. Whatever the imaginations I would have or I have about the future of Omogusi, and I'll tell you the realities. Buna chile ginkonyora mokonyora, my opinion makes sense, sawa. Mokonyora, it doesn't make sense, still is okay. And I'll start with the history asini. When we were going to the run-up of the last election in 2022, etu wabati kambibere, wabate kambia mheshimiwa Raila Odinga no mheshimiwa William Ruto. That time, I was still in parliament. Most of the leaders were in parliament at that time. Bakaamua kugenda si mheshimiwa Raila Odinga babateba nero guchikoira kirukiwa president. I was among the few. If my memory serves me right, I think in Gusina igetenga kingatika na Njibweka. For some time yakabanga Njibweka na atigaire. Kero monto kanyo chire. Kero monto. Batigara Njibweka nkasuguma kabisa William Ruto. Kero monto na ari gweta gusiaria abantu bandama banchoria. Bantu yamangana kweli mbatebi ma attention arigereire. Esabu na akire esabu. Na naro renga omo sigisi nkoirare chikura. Mo gusita jetia igwe. William Ruto akanyora 33%, was it 34%? Raila Odinga akanyora about 60%. Echinde chikaba shared na a few others. And in fact, we even had a challenge konyora chi candidate. Na rode abantu ngo monto yonko irare. Ekabe ngaki nkongo mwaka machogu. Konyana tamire nkamuligia. Modebia chase kambi kera kone tuabulu none governor candidate. Nkaligia konyo mheshimiwa Maangi Ochire. Nkamuligia nere, nkamwebeli nkamusie kire nyomba asegete. Tukagamba nere for almost 6 hours nera ganchirana. Egera ati no senator at least to balance. Egera torro kanenga ntuga de chinamba. Some constituencies to kaburuba ke candidate yogotena because kero montare wata bangoma etenchera teyora arusi ora abwe Raila Odinga na chikura this time. So I told Omogusi that time taigweti, and today I want to tell you some things moji wanchira na baadaye na mwiso kubugatia historia negocha. Even after election saving to na batebire binge mbono mukunya koranga ke Osoro na kuwa ni tinkia gukirira bono Osoro na kuwa ni tegente tinkia gukirira. Immediately after elections Araminto intuntore serikali, but it has not been bakekera intutu ikaranste serikali tirira isigo asituri kero tu asoete 2022 burumbu arenge iguru inyora balitu arikurwara nabuwa bande na bana ba mintu na bana Fred barenge serikali bantu nkubwa tu barenge bono burumbu arenge iguru bakase serikali aba bako gambamba bwa tu buruna intu sana abande mbabwa to buruna intu abanta bange bayikoyo ikaba none kero kurigiri bagario konyora onde bwensi ase serikali oruane romo gusiaso ekobe gasi ankongo because chikura tu anyora te chiarenge tu ayana ne te chiarenge about 33%. 95% of professionals mbaninga na into. In fact njosoro na arekwanda chiyo bisi abantu bantama chisi yo chiarenge gasi ni aga na arekwanda chiyo bisi chisi ye chiare wontama monta kontra yote yo ma tin kontra kana no Osoro le Naruto ngo butunde gasi. So it became very difficult. Well, ito ile serikali no ne CA chio si professional chio to goja gutangaza go se go apply chigasi chio si tia wabwete ante bakuwa muntu ago chi apply tamaiti onde msenze emeye banta maite mbali bazimio oh no budget will apply most of them tokanyorega asi en Congo okorigio muntu. I remember even some of the parastatal story chia serikali ya chitubuga tabona most of them interpersonally na akorigia abantu nga aya baba utawa apply asegete ndabuli ninyole it became very difficult almost cover part of government buya because no anyino bosoku bwo gutoka serikali mbu arengo umuntu asogete ikiagara mahete ngakaki ngakingo jikoba but mzuri wasemba ya Raila olimu ari support ya gacha serikali naturally nerna it was his sunset days nerna gata record community aya liribona ya negotiate nera ka insist nera ko negotiate ya abantu bamu abo mono and at that time miche na arenge bado the senior most close to the president between 2020 gocha na erebono iga nothing has changed but because the committee to ja better bit of a challenge then even as we were negotiating so koba liribono mga kacha Raila anda koba nere mu amine timono ikabanga nero gutigirwa bange Nyanza no nyende bintu bya serikali Nyanza emine tibako mugusinari so unfortunately iriako banga of course nere kimwanya bantu so bare kolengere that is how people think and that is normal so time has gone to a beire serikali to a support ko serikali ngo support to serikali and that is how life is but over the years it's a challenge gocha after challenge to ikire liribono stability ya dikande korokana ngabono na boto konyora to negotiate mono na ne bintu bya magendero seito there is nothing wrong on the ones ko ambitious umwana minto Fred agacha Kenya agateba ngo buri president of course mugusimu gaichora kweli mukaoroke kabisa nga mutagete such a discussion but no wono njenta iturgeli the future yomugusi tobora ni the future yomugusi ko tuikranze te orusi emotions kando orusi oboloro kando orusi obwanchani kando orusi obokenyomba kando oyeboli about our community in the future because miake na aberere serikali na arorira mangana mange sana amange ako ayanda kongechia ana kongechia about our community ayanda kongechia because ekero tutabuga stability erebuya ntubuga stability in terms of korengera liamo arafu ntubuga numbers ondite toko ngentere you might ondite toko ngentere ntuna abantu toko lazima tobereri nze mende yonse tole obe opposition obe serikali ntuna abantu bokwebereri no ngentere yo monto in fact when I was checking the statistics chikura tu agete collectively kisi na Nyamira cumulatively njigeti milioni chionzi pikisi na Nyamira yani chionzi pichiri Raila nyorete ne chiruta nyorete cumulatively you do your statistics njigeti 1 million yani ntuna abantu nabo turi bono igakurukisi na Nyamira abana bayito abande tima nkimutari kubwa 3 bande abande kana mubwate bande muri ku ikadi so we are at crossroads and I am fearing for the future of the community onya ntogote banikene. And I will speak about 3 things because that is, as I say, about my mind. You know, you have an opinion as an individual. I have an opinion as an individual. You cannot think on my behalf. I can't think on your behalf, but I'll speak my mind. If you choose to agree, fine. If you don't choose to agree, fine. That is the beauty of democracy. But I'll tell you the reality because in Janaveri, as a binti siasa. I'll start by telling you this. Just like I told you last time, and I'll finish at that. I'll tell you the reality. Just like I told you people in 2022, a direction ne na arolide. Ngabat na abate winge sana gusiye na abate winge sana. And today, I want to respectively and with tremendous humility, kibora maskani ya manene, ko address mnanateba the future of Umugusi and the leadership of Dr. Fred Matiangi. Because nobody wants to say, I'll say. Ekero daktari achete Kenya, hopunja arengo sana nga, nabako ba, and I can tell even within our cycles, in the Torres Rekari, eliatari arengeri nina sana. Kera aliwacha last year. Tinta riko mention marieta, lakini nkobora ni tu arenge nga kakie. Muntu utachete. Taliwacha kataringa ki. Muntu tali umotidi elieta ligasara. In fact, that time, muntu wensi wakora statistics, na waka watenga, rating ya enja arenge guru sana. Kenya. But over the years, over the very few days, and that is the nature of politics, kero go chakore iguru. Airigire mwana siasa ndo bwensi uranga nae o cha liberera lire iguru. Spirit ya ye kogenda nse bwango muna wacha siasa ingiyane yo go cha kansa go kogenda ngorona go batara bagamuna babaraira bacha getense bakobwatu bachandika by the time ba kopa bona bakaka kabisa bakongo miaka yarasukire lirio go cha kano eko ono murero gete kawaida tu igogwoka na rina nini na endo cho oera because okobo monene sana. So in the future of Umugusi kero Freddy Achete, I'll tell you statistically, Gusie ya renge 98% in his support. Lakini wake karere 98% in his support. To iso kogenda with the statistics chiagusi chikura arenge konyora that time. To iso kogenda muna chikura chiage tu 700,000 total both Kisii na Nyamira. Kero waka 98% iko roughly alwele konyora about 659,000. 600 and something thousand, less 2%. So if you less than 2% of 700, I think something like that, I reckon you're about 600,000. In my tabulation is not right, but that is the statistics. But it was very high at that point. And I'll tell him, like I was telling my brothers, makorera magoso lidia chireiga kiagarancha ngoso mande bitabu ya wanasiasa sana. There is no day Raila arekoru isiko nga the first stop arekogenda Kisumu usogenda Bondo akoru asarure nga baba when you are away ochaga Nairobi osalie parengima ogendo enda Kibera aiga Nairobi na yabanga nabagera bare kumbuga ati perception ya gosoka isiko nechi TV neringa umuntu utatanjire Nairobi kuliko bona ekogenda kirasi na ino wana magakora magoso mukarachaga kura mu advice. That is why I'm addressing him today. Mukamuira karuga genda bakagusi mukara makore community leader. Kero monta kobe community leader traba national leader, it is very dangerous. Ayebwati bu ya chaka genda oyore bono kugamba ituko ndiyo kwa rekorra lyako chaka chikambini chiae akumunyoka lyoka nganje Rift Valley. No, he was doing a close okuyunga na achira aseke aka constitute monomono kwanza boikoyo baka bantu bamuhawe umuntu ona kibona arengerete. Even us, some of us in our small way, like now me, I did not even campaign in my clan. Kena chage to kubulishiko achagera kora agenda isiko bantu bakatendo cy'umuntu nasikire ona bantu bakachaga appreciate. So abuntu akolete magosa ke Umugusi, and I'm putting myself in, although I was not part of him. Komokora kwanza community leader, it was a trap which he fell into. Because once you become a community leader, bagocha okoboli chitambatia onchirichi nkiobwata nilioga enda negotiate kwanya ranga tugata numbers bagocha go question. And when some of us were raising such issues, you insulted us because it will on the time obwata bobe mwana minto ko kamba anya nyasaya direction ngena ngeni ya orokiringa nayo go chiaria on the obwata. But let's talk reality. Tochage kwebole that time it was 98%. Alafu kwa mwamubikira community leader bakabono iga kiagara the thing we do, we only host him every time on local stations. kirase bakare no ari ngegesa everywhere aliuka no tore such local station. Now that you've reduced him to a community leader because you've succeeded, and I agree, so I'll address him as a community leader so that we talk. I'm also part of the community as the community leader. Oito kira na community leader inje. By the way, I have no interest whatsoever to be community leader because I'm a village elder who is elevated as a community. Target. I only say kira kuwa very reduced one tirani koenance kuwa very community leader. Mwana toko address mwana community leader. We discuss together here. Tuboda niya maswali our leader where I am involved too. Ngaitoguchi as a community leader. Mwana mito Fred na amanyete because he's listening and I know he knows. Between me and him, his chances Sio Kabawane national leader are going on diminishing by the day. No, they say that. They say that. They may not speak it out. That is why even some of them people are looking for ways to hang. Why and that sisi ndio sifuna. You are now a community leader. And it's important for us to address you that way as our leader. You are our leader. Toborani, what is the future? Are you misleading the community or say not misleading or leading it the right direction? So we need to talk about these things. When you came, it was at 98%. Statistics, yeah, correct to Moisonde, you are still a community leader. You are now standing Gusi at 55% in terms of rating. The other areas, Sonia Gusi, or 55%, it's again rate kogenance. Worse. In fact, I'll tell you, as a presidential candidate, nto abwate by election Mavuko, to be get candidate. To gatuare by election, I think Isiolo, to be get candidate. So that you become a national leader. We now have a by-election. Yago. Ikegero mobungo kuwa, olkalau, no yo jubiri. Yago. It is for you to win or to lose. Ne yago. Kwa be candidate, lakini kwa nyaka rokana. Chi community leader jichini na ibanta abande, they are all over campaigning olkalau. Kwa nyaka rokana. So where are we going as a community? Ekiame kiore Jubilee. Now, whatever you accepted Kobomo deputy, you did not start your own house. Wachake nyumba ya go tire ngorang, ogende gradually, abantu bakuamini, gocha. Okaenda kwa nyumba, omanyana amwe mambe ate betara ya deputy. So the community still believes in you at 55%. That is very dangerous. And unless we say it, things will not go right. Me, my opinion, na I don't know manyete between me and you. Opposition, ona ge erengareti koa Kalonzo Musyoka kerugo. Eriko nyatu arwata yabanga United Opposition eko a ticket. Igabona you will still remain on your 55, you will come to 30%. Was a 15. Because authority born a presidential candidate. Chances are very high. You and I know the truth. You've been in government, you know. I'm now in government, I know. There is only one sponsor, your opposition. One, Uhuru Kenyatta. Who is your party leader? He is the only sponsor. Na era ukuru chibe ya saliriaga neti. That is why mkutana mwakora didi chibe siya sokire. Chitara soka, mwuriwa soka. So it becomes very challenging. Ikega munategemea jembe la kupewa ndio mtoke. So omonto yore the sponsor in his rating arengareti Kalonzo aranie esho. Why? Ba ko be kire community leader ba kire chisabu cheito ba ro dire tu areng etore eto agere chikura 700,000 ba gundure etore bona go kire 55% ba amugire na ba kwaro ba 100% ba don 700,000 votes to agete ndo tira ne million. Yani na tu abeire. That is how we are now. So wanaminto, this is very dangerous for the community. We are going to be in a worse situation if we allow this to continue than eyena nyorete 2022. How? 2022 yokogamba bono iga okobata gete second term na bakunya gotoebereri njunya rebe na wango koegasi abande bago dengo maito tiga etorali behind toya Matiangi ababunge sijui nini. No problem. Achiko korera kia babunge mbaba 10 mbaba 15 mbaba 20 bunge anega esenko gambaga etore ababunge 349 usi no teba na babunge ko mwa bonzi pi 17 iga bunge gero nyore chikura o akirkendi gionsi ebiri yagete you only need 130 MPs 130 basigisi ebare 50 something boka igotora agesa tikabire jire chi amuire abagere baachira serikali abantu ba coast baachira serikali abantu ba rift ba north eastern baachira serikali bono abantu no mubunge no Matiangi abunge 17 ngayako baira ko negotiate nango na ene kero kuti negotiate no muntu kwa second term ayo mwerio nkiako candidate it is going to be very difficult for the community, and I want you to keep this video for the future. It is going to be very difficult for the community unless we change tact. Maete wanasemanga sikio la kufa alisiki dawa. Our chances have diminished the more in the opposition. And you'll remember this video next year April. Omaina wani inukare evoli. And I speak this with tremendous respect. Kerota recover no president tuamuira bono wanchire tatageti otebire tatuga chama ya abugata Jubilee Party. Jubilee Party nekia muikoyo. Aba ikoyo egenta bago promote DCP mbali na atara Jubilee. Ikoyo atigaire aga section gaito kagusi. Aseyo moko gatari. No engusi yeyu muri ko gatari except yari asimu abegeta ka obisi yari gesonzo. Akamwega kare para igoro asimu ndata paka no nchigari. But one rusi ebyo. You will agree with me Kerota recover president. But tuarore a secretariat. Ere functional. Kero na tenga time bado. Chinza jerire. Na no muntu kuru MC so ile ground ya colleagues kweli. Muntu kuru bojube kane nsengima 290 constituencies. It is not an easy thing. To be very careful so that we don't mislead the community. It is going to be very dangerous of us. I pity my community. Na ane tutalibana tubunye kongene bana tubunye kongenteringa nganto targeti. Tata intunege ichorelio. Unless we are in a winning side, ondeta yoko ngenteri. Ondeta yoko ngenteri. Na abele serikali ga my friend nko abralie bintu kweli. It's not easy. Muiko kago cha igaba kekera ba kuomana enjere to kuomana oegwa. Na abele bintu na urwa. Why? Antaba, you know, even the president trikumanya okwana chiyo bisiga kwebereri. You know, by the time ogo chigote president nero understand it siasa and wande batoroche abona aba. You know? Why? Because baka waliputa serikali of course ndo maskanita yonka. Mungule kwemincha, mungule kotongenderelia. Ono we remain there tulikatiani. Serikali yes, but we kabona se point yote ati andu wandira abantu bande boka tinta itiko gochandeka ora chandekire community bosa italenga retimanga nayo. But my point ne ya bana waminto, for you to be even a president, otu are secretariat, otu are kiama, otu are functional team e korokanere face ya national. Ono bana waminto otu are president Fred Ominto maigaga mongino renkari amine tingara bokoba lakini aino maite to konyara badu mongino renkari akagite ngara bokoba na aino maite kene asore bono iga turi banga muinoga keroko kore press murevu muinoga nensari macha muinoga uzeni ngoli. Yani we are becoming jokers. We are not leading the community in the right direction. Bono ko address as my leader because to anchira nire you are at 55%, so you are the leader. But I'll tell you the truth. Njomete no manyete mano meto friend, I say the truth. Abantu bage chiko, but that is the truth. I cannot tell president rigino ne chigari okerochi yake aikomi obegete sound. These embarrassments moko gaenda say function na akuru abantu moko address na ba boda abantu 20. Aka makondo mobegete na aliye kanisa aliya indoor. And you want to be a president. It is not we cannot be embarrassing our community that way. One mongi no renkari arocho wa campaign kweli. But you and I know it's not true. Nege ndeke moja watayo mandi chiba stoko tumia. Onye kwa president, you have to use money. Mobilize. Yendo ge ekolo kunga bare tu abantu. abantu ubare tunaba Kenya ngogo kani mba koreto bache gwake kura they will still be brought bache gwake kura anya bachi besa when you go to a meeting mobilize ichori abantu ground geichore you know araf be kama konda mana bono you cannot be a presidential candidate egali wasabe aspirant ndo chaga akahone speaker garabu but a community umongino orenka minto akagetenga no be president and you know very well turebanga. So my point ni our future. Now, and this I beg with tremendous respect. Because right now you're at 55, Gusi. The other part of the country, I can tell you are low. Extremely. You are not doing anything. Other than telling us everywhere, I'll fix it. Fix. You know, you have to explain about pare ya igore tu ntaetebe you know, as it is right now na ino mukune kusanira mukamumura yani na wanyanga chaguyo enjira yagu nchukana every day abugata abantu mwaya every day 30 days in a month kera lituko genda uli lino na Facebook yae lera nabugata abantu eribu marago banabugata na le kera lituko nabugata abantu kera lituko igotare wante gachagwa akoligia abantu abo once boiko ya chakoretere. You know, let's be fair. Aeto kuligeli none metandao o ngarenge no mugaka machogu na maraga mungakwebicha mugwoto muriro boss wacheni mchezo bwana. I feel bad because omungino renkari o amini ringa gentonkereke koba na gentonkeyo. There is nothing, it's balloon. It is balloon complete. When last did you meet MCAs? Bagusi, Baoma Bay, Kisumu, Isiolo. When last? When last did you ever make a call? Meranaba Bungoro Siabasani, Mombasa. Okay, and don't Mukutano. Utuare. Gachagua every day holds such meetings. No, I know position you are serious now. That is why they want you. They don't see you as no a leader. Lakini gusi okoba yegesa. Abante bakagetinga somehow miracle ne karo. Because yegesa, that is what they have decided to do every morning. They've even succeeded to make you a community leader. Every morning, ninchu kuaneraga kuane gorea matanga. A presidential candidate who's kuana matanga yaki. You're a presidential candidate, you are up there. You cannot be involved in a MC naru anete no mugavana naru anete mubunge. That is not your work. Even messaging yoka, kegusiri yoka. We are losing it. Now that abantu bahamini gusiari kende, because any person who tells you the truth about Gomorama, and in Chumaete, I'll still tell you the truth. I'll tell you, the only way you can help us, Fred, you will still be president. You can actually be president, but not in 2027. As long as you're going to go stick na united opposition, 2027 you are not going to be president. Or even 2032. Or even 2037. Because we are also there. If you want to be president, which I believe you can, you know, you're a bit lazy. You need a team. And that team, you can be guided. You know? No moro rase siasa. Oya se ga simbu yole. Kini siasa, ano mogokore. You know? Siasa itageti bogoko. Either nchiyo was no bogoko. You know, you just tell us. We just know. So that we don't waste time for the community. And the opposition MPs will not tell you that. But we will tell you. I feel bad because I know what I go through in government. To fight for Omogusi. And they still don't see. My fear is, you lead us to the opposition mono. A second time, you're president ya kogenda. Eba Congo bono kwebere no bo class monitor. Into komo ngenter that time. That is my only fear. Serikali yasoe itami ya kabere. Ituriko ngenter. Pinte imugula teba reject at that point. Yendo ke mora at that time ngoko reject ya kogenda. Eke gunjo ke kebana kiriki abiriki uru maliza uende. Maliza uende tuchandike miaka 5. Because the community has been misled yonsi achire. You can be president. The only way you can be president, Fred, is under one route. There is a big gap in Nyanza as a region for leadership. In Nyanza, etole intwe abagere n'abakuria aba bali bara abange n'abagere abako bugati n'abagusi tumakwenda abakuria abagere aba 2.5 million ebare serikali gap ya leadership ya tokeire bogere abakuria ebare serikali abagusiboka watu leadiri tobe in opposition. I want to advise my brother Fred, join government, take over that region. Nimbwata maskani sana gochia se Professor Kindiki, but I have ange buya no ne position ina batoko chira to negotiate mune region ya Nyanza bogere bukuria ikera no na bagere ekera bago debate to deputy president mbangire koigwana ningo bara negotiate bono Fred Erache, it will be very easy we negotiate to kolinwa nimbwata maskani sana gochia se prime cabinet secretary Mudavadi lakini njena eno manyetenga aina bakoreta chikura chinyingi kubwa Mudavadi. It is very easy for us to negotiate kurwari oso serikali Ruto unakona kwasoka kwanyorire platform yo korosia bese kigera na gundure either tubugati gosoro mugoko otoke within that structure. By 2032 we start making it very well. Let's be honest, tigebe activism. I have seen it, my friend. Aba ikoye bakonya kwa activist ga lakini bakorosi sobo mwatarire Kenya nkuarenge serikali nanekera mwarenge serikali mugakori ukagambire bintaga tumbire sobo ogosoka kuruga Nairobi ore Thika Road highway okogera bakanyeri super highway kira asega Kiambuchi highway mbono mugako yakonya kwega sa rironi ma summit 90% nyore kende kuchiari ya suneka etini boko kuchimoino mbona kanya kwega otherwise ese gie mukurwana yaba ikuyo tego tokonya bara mbe agachete mbaro seti sobo. The chance yokobo president gosomo deputy president is only with William. No obo running mate yo Kalonzo. You and I know Kalonzo nere ko inspire mwabwe kanire nera amete bokamba check isande inga yare nge bokamba nara osoka limo matanga ekanisa kweka numbers tiaona tia ko imagine the social media. Stop imagining these things about social media. Social media in this country is only 2.7% yabangina bale social media. No na abandi great. They are only 2.7% as a population of 55 million. I'm telling you. Bangina bale na bagaka bagwa kachitwa kurankari mbayo social media. Mbayo. We cannot I feel bad because I foresee my community ke go suffer if we do not manage our politics very well. Bagere muisonde bagundua na kekero bako ne kuibanga tata nkwaro chino ene kere function diko koru a weekend bagere ababunga boka bachi etari mubunga koru 10 million chiaga achire chi project chi kanso yonde na 10 million baga changa 35 million no yonde na endo cha so karora chi airport chi abo. Why they've managed kumanyanga siasa yeto kunya kujiaka mono ya opposition nga activist tole nga sisi tunafaitia inchi gani? This is not new. Whatever is happening in this country is not new. Fred, you did it, or even worse when you were in government. So there is nothing new, there is nothing unique you guys will do. Mura imagine ko korango manyete bantu mbako bugatu ngo kani. I mean every government has that, let's be honest, but activism does not pay. Activism doesn't. Interview de soka to soke tuoge to batebi to bazokie to bate. Those things I have realized they do not work. So chance one Yokobo president is to join Ruto. Now that is on your personal growth. I want to beg of you for the growth of the community. Awana minto ntu ayete moisonde kentoko ku National Infrastructure Fund kagaita ga bunge. We are targeting to raise 7 trillion to do construction yechi para Kenya ngima. Ayo ndige reti ebo lise ino uchi para nchiro kara eminche kurigoro bakansira kinye boli chipara nchiri ino chiri chingia chigweteka. Now Fred Matiangi batebiri tigana na Ruto, for you to be part of this 7 trillion you have to be on the table. Technocrats dibago ikaransaras motoko ngogotoko, you are elected representative, because there is no technocrat kuchikobali raika amanyenge para ne kare mukomoni ose kiabigori ose kebirgo ose minyinkwa ta ko bairaika. That is why article 96 whatever into gas get no ko represent ta ko bairaika. So right now we are into the budget infrastructure yabe get treatment nyingi sana abana wame into chibese chimbono gachi kobagwa in terms of ekiagere to ko beka bune pool yabe get to a pool about development ntaracha na igoro ya 7 trillion. Fred, I beg of you, release your MPs and tell them to go and negotiate with the technocrats, the minister for roads. Egere na baruba bekiruchi para chiechirami so bachi yagachwe. Tiga gusanira mukamo murutora. Ebinte binko bekubire by the time moko igora maiso na manyora na opposition mule. No yimu abasoira opposition there akogenda bone tamya kabire. Abantu bachandeke bubi. Abantu bagocha kuchandeka bubi. And there's nothing you will do. No emincha. There's nothing you will do. No gejigu no murama. It is nothing. Again, te ketata mante ba ibangete mono kare. Ono no kiba kiorenge akanyora jari akababa katare ko robiya rengo mugaka akaba njiragiri yale ko taramne krema. O angete kurubu kirego 207 baka akuimuki gwebuku botuko kano masaya oyo mokeiga. Oye bangire kabisa kera nkumurire yaye bange targire TV ntubaka kuchimutu ali arigire kabisa. Muntu kugambira abana jeshi bono iga. Omo ikoyo. Okogenda nka gose next year. Lichi koria abana jeshi oliyo kumubwati nere kuira. Oliyo kumubwati omusigisi. Mwabo tebanie tebya bagusiye kena, you know the reality about this country. Muntu kugambira abasikari bono iga no mugusi. Ame no mo ikoyo. Oyo kumubwati korumaye gotakiri kumuikoira. Oyo. Nemato. Siasa no kubango boche, ubange to boche kirase ubange to boche. Yente kibonga dengo maetenche mokongo sa tokogenda ense ko sarika. Ense na how far ense ra sarika ko bobona ya sarika 24th June na ende Ruto na karanse tetekiru. So kaiziko ense sarika bune iwate ba ana ubako bote yoso kaiziko mba ko soka. Ba gotigara abande bakwe. You know, that is how life is. Well, you can choose to be activist, you become part of the statistics. You are just part of the statistics. Tunataka akie tu miaka bere metinye bere bantu bebire. Atali yeso kukwira bantu bibi yabo. Genton keyo iraika ndiyo ligo chikosoa. Siasa tali maraika. Reality ne ringa ntobwe. Ya. Ngayiro chitrabwe ensa yamo chitrabwe niga. Onye tokubugaga bugatia. Sabe share ya ino. Toka mutuabu ruanera mugusi. That is how life is. Oh no, a budget yetu etete. Babunge mbale rwi karasa na chirichiri, walibe chipara. Babunge bane amine baliba go Fred. Baba de bara rokane nga babere chimol. Mbata idiko enda si chi obisi ejichi nene kiagere binte ibi kubangu chi obisi ejichi. No nyana eno manje na kwa bange tin kubanga kwa renge binte from your offices. It is not easy unless we used to come to your office. Inche na renge tanga. I used to come to your office every time. Because government cannot be ngabono manyetenga natural inga para que teneta ke. Ekara moiso onde tuara ko beka para. Chio kwa gacha our regions because in Chekera nko genda. Njoma I am not a representative yo Mogusi. I am an MP for South Mogrango. I am not fighting to be anything like you. I want to be kingpin, even to be. I don't care. Even to be those are small things. I'm focusing national. So right now, my mandate is to represent the people of South Mogrango. So I have to be honest. And I look at them now. Boss, you want to get through these offices? Right now, I'm doing 186 kilometers of roads. Tarmac. In the entire constituency, by end of next year, I'll have been left with only 30 kilometers chitabwati rami. Naende ababunga abako bataje different. No 30 kilometers itingo bekana next week. Because eke no ere mesa. Ayiga smoke mnyoka tindochi. Why can't you just come and sit? You don't need to tell Ruto to come. You don't. You simply need to tone down, release your MPs, come and say we just want to work, kura ziko mbali, chukua share yako ya 7 trillion, pelekea watu wako, jenga malami, weka maji, fanya infrastructure. I am telling you this because in 3 weeks time, tuko Kisii, wale ambao wataketi kwa meza next week, tunafungua barabara zingine mpya. So ukimuona tena akija South Mugirango, don't complain. I am not an MP of West Mugirango, North Mugirango, Bonchari. No. I am MP South Mugirango first. All the rest, kila mtu ajipiganie. Njira yo ande ngainko manyere para yabo basi. Ngainko manyere para ere Bonchari. Tinji manyeti. Para maete ne chiane. Ni mbori kwa senkaranzete. Lisa karanko bara isi para chiane ngeye. Na mwisho na ba eteli akiagware. No pare to cross the one of the biggest. Ani again kerana etwe igatangaswe kaena nuri rube itogoje kuigora. My friend, I said that here. Nya imera igora ali asa bantu batane korora rami. Wocha ego tirimbo gocha kiagware. Ego ambokaga abu nyamio mwe amboke gocha nyakorere. Pare ende gwa kari karungu. Ekogenda bakasengenya. Eko magocha ganya keyo nyamasege. Bana I felt so good. And that is the joy of being a leader. I beg of us, leaders, chances of Fred are not there. And by the end of 2, 3, 4 months, muna jipari jitia Ruto chiko aramu jitia balironi. Enoge murate yabantu banakuru. By the end of noje kiambwe moja batanga baikoyo. Ya chake tuko bekre fly over ko chakiraga mudaiga ekogenda go chitige zongori. Babunga wa baikoyo kwa bakunya kugira nabo ange bonse. Quietly. Oliga cha go chakira go tigara buyeka. Chirali chitimu karodi chinyinga ngasema one time cha chakira ko nyakokea. Na kia kora ko enda munyomba go tuware mikutano kiagira bana bantu barosire mugano uyu. Let's not mislead the community. We put aside our personal differences. Join government. I am willing to negotiate. You become our leader in the side of government. You will be remembered. Because you are an asset, it will be very easy because you are at 55%. Otasa etibone yoko 55. Ereti yago mune gucha ko enda kere 2015. Awaso akore yani gentonke yo gento kenenora eguno bo. Gira I want to know. What's your man we board? I can also echo 55%. And I say this with tremendous respect. You will negotiate for our community for this 1 year. We will get a share of 7 trillion properly. Because you will come, munomogusi. I am not a leader of the community. I don't need such. In future, that time I will be something. I want correct. 7 trillion. Ni ngegu oroch na atike only 30 kilometers impegeta as a program. Ni ngegu at least 300 kilometers yagusi. Na inkorus tinji manyeti. Nkora angelio mobunge o sei bo machoke borabu. Akuanga gocha. Awate abanje no muntu Fred. Yana gochi ya alinko barustro. What do I do? My powers are limited. There's nothing I can do. The only thing I do as a leader, bunge, I have defended them on the Yokorusuku committee. On the Yokorusuku committee, Korunso, I'm the chief whip. Thing one. I'm never going to see Baka and the Baliba and Tabanga or a Kaurachi Parachi, which is a lie. Nanina Gasaruchi Para, Yakundi Jaffet. Zaid and Ara Gasaruchi Para. Monuta Java, it is our right. right then talk and use it's our taxes also to me kiere mubuko to tuaka na genda ngoro separa. You know, sometimes you hear stories. Oh, it is my tax. Also, yes, it is your tax, but it's controlled from one central, and the people hold that knife, decide where it goes. It is your tax, it is your right, but your right is not absolute. Somebody must negotiate for it. That is why we have elected leaders. If we are not part of the team, resources Kenya. You know, it is our tax. Yet, around 30th June, you could get a fire at zero return. I want to fire. You are my tax. No, I didn't go to Mogati. Go to your go to Bogati. And is a tax evader. You know, let's stop narrowing our reasoning to the correct activists. Tell people reality. Abaikoyo ababaga atitesoba. Esege mokuru wanene abaikoyo. Abana wame. Esege mokuru wanene abaikoyo. Obogambi no buyekero obugata. Nanda bono babwati sinamba chinyinge. Alabe bugata chibasi nyinge. Baro sirisoba kweri. Esege mokuru wanene abaikoyo. Tiago yaso esege abaikoyo. Tigapi yaso. Tigapi. So amorosi kende. So amwaga chenka. Tafadhali. Abana wame nto. Busingo tigarire maega. Because they are able to negotiate. Why are they able to negotiate? The only thing you know. So today I have decided to pour out my heart. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality, and you will remember me. Even in this administration, most of the things I've told you, I don't want to talk about them because some of them are unnecessary. I used to tell you things. I used to mention things. Ono squeeze nje tini kwa mangana mange. Mwaga tabiri binte binge, mwaga tabiri tata kitiko kora gento tata likoro wasi. Nowadays I pulled back. I consider and focus on my people. Finally. Yente ketaya wata ngore no mwabo. Obugata okoboko chaka. Utali no mwabo. Obugata muramu. Tika hasi tinyo kutangaza serikali. Chinyinge sana. Omogusi tata yutoka part of it because asane ritumuka mumura. Abana bako likwa. Mugusi tata yutoka kegera asane ritumuka mumura. Okoba bantu siyase Kenya sometimes it's unfortunate that is how it is na Kenya yoka na America na bere iko usikolire America tabuga mundo mumwamu asa serikali. I think no yamabuga. I mean that is how life is. Tiago we koranga democracy ju nini reality tweka reality ya mwanya bantu. The reason why no na yoko support the radio kwa numugusi. So tikibinte binyo wa te serikali tekeko baiko. Okay. To support the musigisi nkiko support the radio. You know, so we have identity. Kero manye to muntu ngokonye kuri. Abari mukuri kubare. Konya abana bayito bande muri wa apply. Oseri yota to kusumera onde bwense no buskari kusekende. Ndondo chande gete. Anyway. Me chande ite yende ni mwatso rete. Tite ko mangana mange nda kwana yande yoboruru. I say, Kere, my friend, oko negotiate again to kede kyo mugusi wata ibu Osoro. Ruanira mwa tata na ya tuta konya. Ntuwe community ya asire ibu, yani esire iri. Babugate hope ya tayo. Yani you can start because babugate hope ngenza limache na murebu mbache bakubare ya Matiangi abe president. You know we are jokers. Na kogena matanga gusina nyokata yotali Matiangi nka sijui nini. Is that how you want to? Bake kerora ira renge kero kumwagete chikura 700,000 chioka kisi na Nyamira chions. Ruto airete chikura na 7.2 million 7.2 million 7.4 was 7.2 something like that. Yeah, 7.2. Raila kanyora 6.9 6.9 yechi no Rusi ejo ya 700 dinga wana muhiminchire. Wacha mchezo bwana. Wacha ni mchezo. Beg where we have hope. We cannot get hope under Kalonzo Musyoka. Never. Kalonzo mujiko bachirani ngiritia Nano burani ngimutiumba acha pe minche. Siasa yake kwa chakiri goro ko yana singaka. Wana bako chibako togi. Bako chibatogi umuntu baro sanere. Bakagotogi Fred, bakarosa naye, bakacha simora rakebaso, bakarosa nere squeeze bako dimenkiare. Batigire bakacha maraga, bachana mwa kondega kwenye karasa chipara. Yani ono hali gakanya kubuga tu mwaka bwa masikani. Muntu chiete skuru. Kuna gonchoncho kana go karasa chipara. We are embarrassing the community bana. We have to tell you the truth. Nga activism mbono mogo chaka. Unyo goncho kana naga mu karasa chipara, tiato imokia mato, tiato koregento gete. Libato gyo yiba akolire, muizo nendo na reba acha sisi ndio zifuna. Muliro chakira kwa era. Kero wate ribanto mimi ndio zifuna, so what? After that, muliro kwa era, to chaka siasa igora, chaka ansa. Tira. Quietly. So for those and many remarks, I invite my community to think there is no hope in the opposition, whether with Fred, because already Mwamo branded my community leader. In fact, president. You've been branded a community leader. Your party is not national. You have 15 MPs. DCP na wabunge kwa 50. They'll impeach you. They'll demand you cannot lead. That is not how life is. Start gradually. No see a network Kenya ngima nini. Then we grow. My community, I beg of you. Ntra nyorwa. Fred, kuja tuende kwa Ruto. You will be something. And I'm not telling you out of fear for you or fear, like personal fear about you. No, bro, you know me. I'm telling you that because of my community, our community. You are now the leader. And we believe that. But don't mislead the community. Don't. Una ajonte bindu ganko bugati. Igonte kanene pare. Yengo korosi. Baka se inari. No mare pare asengenya inche nkorosi. Sengenya se inase. Uibo irae. Fred. I'm the one building it right now. I'm making a tarmac. Right now. You are in government. You did not. When you tell me to quit government, you are telling me. Achana na hii barabara ya kujenga kwangu. Etage kona. Mimi ninajenga. Sai. Kiago arense ino. Fred. As minister for 10 years, you came to South Mogrango 3 years. 3 years. 1, 2, 3. And the only thing I remember, no promise ya matabori nyangweta, you did not bring. Matabori nyakembene, you did not bring. Anyway, nyakembene ina achaka kuwa gacha koroba. Don't mind. Nyangweta ina kuwa gacha koroba. SDA. Don't mind. I am not complaining. I simply want you to join us so that you help the community. Thank you very much.
Mheshimiwa, maybe unakuwa kwa nina mangana amarongea program kimo bwate kuna osekwa focus uno mugusi mucho kwikira na muna barai
Siasa address each other on media. Politicians don't address each other in meetings. Once you see my message and you accept, you reach out. If you don't, no problem. We keep the record and the public will see. That is a reality. Number two, unomogusi, bro, I speak as MP South Mogrango. I am not the leader of Omogusi. Never will I want to be. If I ever want to be a leader beyond South Mogrango, I want to be president of Kenya. If that chance ever arises. And that can only happen not only because in Omogusi, because I'll be accepted Oikoyo be accepted Osigisi. If that doesn't happen, even the clan elder Osikuna Osaigo, it comes with a lot of baggage and you'll suffer. Especially my people will suffer South Mugirango. So what we've told our people is that our leaders Zairi Janda sukuma chiparachi yabu tata. Jafri Nyakundi sukuma chiparachi yabu. Alpha Miruka sukuma chiparachi yabu. Donya Toto sukuma chipara because nere she's really focusing on Bonchari because she wants to be a MP Bonchari. She's already pushed for 2 roads tia Bonchari. Through these sittings. Tochi kuigora in 3 weeks. Kere president yegocha. Donya Toto. If nobody wants to be on the table, there's nothing we can do about it.
Do you feel like the chance Kenya na message ya ucha sevichana?
Gentonke gekoro ku jensi. Ebinte ibi yarete abantu at the end of the day abantu bakorenga no mo jensi ondigereti arengereti go afraid. So tribal. O mugusi ne karo mugusi. Mo jensi ka kondegeli kare ka korengeli kare keruya orengereli. Gendo gekoro ku jensi ngabondo tuachira ama na jensi nga $3. Gendo ge tobito kwa maguru. Ndi yarete kare. And I told the people there's nothing called like that. That was a narrative ya by Koyo na eneja herete. It had nothing. It had something to do with Oborubuga power di balueto, which is okay. So my message to the vijana, jitume. Hii perception yenye tunakuwa nayo hapa kila saa ati huyu kiongozi akitoka unajua tumeteseka sana, Ruto akitoka tutapona. Atatoka my friend, if you don't wake up early kwenda kujitafutia. Huyo mwenye ataingia bado utakuwa tu bado maskini. Stop imagining that when you see people driving around, at unaona mtu akiendesha gari kubwa, you think they are driving, you are poor because they are driving. No. Jitume, hustle, use your network. Kama ni Osoro unajua, tumia yeye. Hii maneno yanasema Kenya, kwani lazima ujue mtu. World over, your network is your net worth. I mean, that is a basic analogy ya kuelewa. Network is your net worth. Who is your network? Who do you know? Hata biashara ni hivyo. Kiweka duka nini, lazima ujuane na watu. Your network is your net worth. You become something through your network. So create a network, grow, jitume. Wacha tu kuishi kazi yako tu unaishi. Hii social media boiko yoga tata hapa njuma ito na abeli na abantu abanabu abakoyo wane. Na amenye na bunko abandango ko bakumi. Muntu abwate kasimi ko kaigo chake kente sini nyendo eduka yo muntu ga watanga ntate ko agent yawe yokoni chianga. Obeka bundles uyigora ka page. Umuntu iti yangu tianga kebicha yedukeye. Yechi angeye mbeke Facebook yane. Obeka. Wosocha ka kokobeka live ye mbegete. Okuona kwa na nguo ni mzuri. Kali yaya. Abantu bamutomera inbox. Ni ngapi? Oliyo ko ni 1200. Oyo matebi 2200. Oyo bagende baka 2000. Omotebi you will pay on delivery. Wote yo duka tuende na wewe. Mimi ndio najua mahali yako tuende. Oliyo kan 2000 omurusiri 800 obeka. Panta badata. Ati ningete kwiri. No nyenso baba atroseti kare ko ende michiji bukata baka chitapu mwabo. Lakini ko ga echere kweka tukuru anesigia bayikoyo. Chitapu yani intubado abangena mdochi bagochi. Barabu maito bone bakora last mile connectivity ya mache. Intio tokora last mile connectivity estima. Estima last mile connectivity so beba code 1989. Kero monda bwa estima. Intio tokora last mile connectivity ya mache. Ya estima. Baka bono ntrai kera. Buone ende at 60%. Can you imagine that? 60 years post independence. 3 years over haki. Kwa ma wanta injo inyese gia bayikoyo. I cannot. Chitap. Ikine yeko nga ejimo. Enyombe ye chibao. Lakini isiko gali ne etap. Etap ya mache pape keire kabisa ko rujuasko. Ende ko asko. Ntumo isoro tuwago to igorete go se guswasko. Tokaye change ko chinyamire yaye na kisi yaye. Tera ikera anywhere. Kana tu alikobeka moisonde budget estimaga. Itoko bagana. In terms of ababunga bali barengo. Bali bago ikaransa bataite ko toka share. Chiba estima jiga chaga ase bitabu. Abunga bakurwanira sana. Ngama kuboli mubungo yo a leader of majority nga mugambi. Nakiba nayo teri kumanira chiba estima njoma itena ngate bambekere 200 million. Bagantebi Ngaba nara kwa mate, you have to consider leadership. Mimi niweke 200 million, wekea Ichungwa 300 million. Stima tuweke kwetu na tuika na steka. Budget yako rosi bunge 300 million. Ichungwa kanta mistake. Ya stima mistake. Iyo kawana na akangatorero muntu mungao. Tokabagana yirende 150 ikaba 350 million. Ejitwaite tumuisonde. Ona njenganyora 350 million. South Mogirango yoka. Ejitogo chiko chaka corolla out in another 2 months. Bono litua soka nga moboli bro, mbona utaki stima? Ande sasa nitawekea nani? Ngama tena maji, pesa ya maji. Mimi sitaki. Kabuli bona ainki utagete. Anyora so ya rose tutalia rukora umu. Na ubaga ambete 1963 bakara rosi. Ande dia soka we onda ndaka bakara rosi. Bona ba rosi gentonke yoget. Alafu kama wandenga bakonye. Nje seito. Abantu bakwenda roche bakabone gatate bitatu nane buri yakamukire. Nane bakonyora kwanza onde bwenzi oranyora bugambi through them. Kobo puppet yabo. Geno gara akora. Ebinto koba kujari. None chipari Ruto ikora muiso de chia central. Mau roads. Nini. Mbona tata tunya kwa bali ko serinya ora mina akakanya korere na abeka chira akarami akaka yani kunya kwa bali ko serinya pota imbekire ga kigo siku hizi manyaba kachipa za chiabo tali chia korosi rambi bona ya ikira bona chipa sapta ko kubeka chi infrastructure etio korosi chikaburo na walking path yani chirami njiro bona bakurikia sa bakobeka chikaburo batarire boss intuntra igara kaburo ntageta karami kara eta. Don't mislead the community. Thank you very much.